Jones. Midfielder numbers.
Week 17 of the USL Championship season also marks the halfway point of the 2023 campaign. San Antonio FC back home to celebrate Independence Weekend, welcoming Birmingham Legion. We've got all the action here on Valley Sports. And a pleasant good evening. We say hello from the broadcast booth with Katie Goodman. I'm Dan Weiss. Great to have you with us. SAFC Katie back here at home after a two-match trip. Big story was at the end of the match last Saturday night in Sacramento. Keeper Jordan Farr assessed a red card, and he is suspended for tonight's match here against Birmingham Legion.
That he is, and anytime the keeper comes out of the box like that, it's pretty hard to make a case for them. And looking at this back over and over, and I think it was probably a good call there on the ref, but you could see the intention. He was coming out to make a clean tackle, just didn't quite hit.
Which means Carlos Mercado will make his first ever start in USL play. It's his second stint with San Antonio FC. He's only played in one other match back in 2020, and he goes up against a 15-year veteran tonight, Matt Van Oekel.
Right, a 15-year veteran, and also a guy who's coming up on his 40th regular season shutout, so kind of a big game for him, but got handed to Carlos Mercado. I mean, it's his time to shine, and I think now's the time to do it.
And hopefully for SAFC, the calendar flip from June to July is also a time to shine as they look to get back on track here in the Western Conference table as they get set to begin the second half of the regular season in USL Championship. We'll take a break. More to come on the other side. SAFC, Birmingham Legion, coming up next here on Valley Sports.
Antonio, it's Sean Elliott. When I was playing in the NBA and needed a transplant, the Spurs would have sent me anywhere. But I knew I didn't need to leave home because Methodist Healthcare provides world-class care right here in our backyard. Whether it's transplant services, heart health, or cancer care, Methodist Healthcare has us all covered with the top programs in the city and the entire state. Expertise matters. Stay close to home and choose Methodist Healthcare for all of us and our families.
There's a powerful beast said to be roaming these woods. And if you listen carefully, you can hear it. And sometimes you can see its tracks. And every now and then, you get a quick glimpse of it.
Grandpa telling his stories again.
The 2023 Toyota Tundra. Better trucks make better stories. Toyota. Let's go places.
For me, starting out in this business, it was very overwhelming and also exciting. My name is Casey Hanlon, and SWBC PEO really helped propel my business. They have automated payroll systems for me. They helped create my employee handbook, and they have over 45 experts that know how to handle just about anything employee related. I could not have one person do the job that SWBC PEO does for us. Our partnership is not just business, it's a relationship.
San Antonio FC Soccer on Valley Sports is brought to you by Toyota. Go to buyatoyota.com or visit your local Toyota dealer today. It's the first Saturday in July. It's the first day of July Independence Day weekend and week 17 of the USL Championship season. San Antonio FC welcoming in Birmingham Legion. And Legion at 7-7-1 on the season, 22 points, 6th in the East. Mikey Lopez, the former SAFC midfielder, spent time here in San Antonio in 2018. He runs things in the middle amongst 9 Birmingham returnees to this Legion roster. And for San Antonio FC, a couple of changes in their lineup. Most notably, we mentioned Carlos Mercado making the start, but Connor Maloney will also be out as well tonight after suffering an injury last week in Sacramento, and that means Ish Jome will make his first start since coming over to San Antonio in his second appearance. Alan Marcina and San Antonio FC, they've been in this position before, Katie, where they've stared a loss and gone into the next week, but only one time in 17 tries where SAFC has come back after a loss under Alan Marcina. Have they lost? And that was back at the end of the 2020 campaign.
Right. It's not often that you see a team like San Antonio FC having 3 ties back-to-back. I believe they had a total of 6 last season, and so they're already more than surpassed that for this season. But you know what? It's a good opportunity. Back at your home field, you've got some fresh legs out there on the pitch, and now's the time to do it and to get back in it.
You saw Tommy Sohn in his 5th year as head coach of this Legion squad. And Katie, look at your keys for tonight for both these clubs.
Right. I mean, we know San Antonio has a really vertical style. We know that Birmingham Legion has a little bit more of a horizontal style. They're going to use the full width of the field. So San Antonio FC is going to want to exploit that width, find the seams through the middle, and of course win first and second ball. That's where they dominate. When they're winning first and second ball, they're dominating the pitch and the field and the rest of the game.
Natalie Simons, our center referee tonight. Carlos Mercado, about to make his first start in USL Championship play. His only other start this season was in the opening round of the US Open Cup, a 2-1 win over Club de Leon. We are underway. Along with Katie Goodman and our entire crew, I'm Dan Weiss. Thanks for joining us here this evening on Bally Sports. San Antonio FC in their home red kits tonight, trimmed in white and black. Birmingham Legion FC in their away black kits, trimmed in green. The third all-time meeting between these two sides, both of which the previous ones have been won by SAFC. Identical 2-1 victories back in 2021 here at Toyota Field and last October in Birmingham. First set piece of the match here belonging to Legion. They've won their last 2 matches, including a 2-1 win, or a 2-0 win rather, over Loudoun United. Enzo Martinez over the ball along with Tyler Pasher. And it'll be Pasher, left-footed, clip into the boxes, headed out, back out top. And unable to drive it through his veteran midfielder Anderson Asiadu. Mentioned for Birmingham, I mentioned 9 returnees, 13 returnees from last year's squad. And Katie, they have 5 players that were on their original 2019 squad when they joined USL Championship.
That means everything. Every extra minute that you can get together with each other, the more you're going to know each other. It's almost like telepathic to an extent. That veteran leadership, you know, the coaches, the style, the way each other plays, it's so important.
Well, the opening quarter hour over the last few matches has featured fireworks. When it's involved San Antonio FC, they've scored 3 times in the opening quarter hour in their last 4 matches, but they've also conceded 3 times in the opening quarter hour as well, too. So hopefully you're not a late arrival to your seat, particularly here tonight at Toyota Field. San Antonio FC can get to work in a hurry. 7 goals scored in the opening quarter hour for SAFC this season.
You'd mentioned the goals scored against as well, and that's really the only skin in the game that really a lot of these teams have is scoring early, getting up on the front foot really early. And that was one of my keys there for Birmingham, is to just come at them. And it's not often that you're going to see Birmingham with a high press. That's not something we're going to expect, but they're doing well here to move in really cleanly and nicely into San Antonio's half.
Here's Jacob Roof, outside right back, working along with Mikey Lopez. And Enzo Martinez in the box, just turns it wide. But a nice little combination play, and it lands on the foot of their leading goal scorer. And Enzo Martinez comes into tonight with 6 goals. He's tied for 11th in the championship.
Yeah, Enzo, one of those guys on the sheet that everyone circles his jersey and just a little bit too much to the left. Mercado did a great job there cutting off his line of sight to the opposite 90, so it made things a little bit difficult there, but that's an example that we just saw of how good Birmingham Legion is at spreading the field, creating spaces in between San Antonio FC and taking advantage of those spaces. And you're going to see a lot more of that tonight, I think.
This is Martinez's 200th career match in USL Championship play tonight. He has 66 goals in his USL career. Second year with Birmingham. Last year was the team MVP, scoring 15 goals in his 34 matches. 6 goals and 14 appearances this year with Legion. San Antonio FC has gone winless in their last 4 matches. They have not tasted a win since the end of May, when they defeated New Mexico United 2-1 here at Toyota Field. Ja'Cory Hayes, top of the box. Tani Oluwaseyi was taking control of the team's scoring lead. 5 goals now in the season for Oluwaseyi in just 7 matches. San Antonio FC lose possession over in the deep corner.
Oluwaseyi has been such a great addition to the San Antonio squad. His creativity on and off the ball, his ability to finish, everything. He really brings so much to the San Antonio team, fits in perfectly. Sad to see Sam Adeniran go back, but also happy for him making his way back up to MLS team, St. Louis City. But, you know, that means Oluwaseyi is going to have a little bit more on his shoulders there. And both him and Nico up top, pretty quick, speedy offense right now.
Oluwaseyi gathering contact inside the box. We play on. Sam Adeniran recalled literally hours before the match last Saturday night in Sacramento to St. Louis City. That's kind of the name of the game here in USL Championship when you deal with players on loan. And so congrats to Adeniran. SAFC trying to pick up the void in the absence of him. Also, Christian Pirano announced yesterday that he's exercised his opt-out clause and has left San Antonio FC as well. So Pirano, of course, you know what his history has been with this club over 4+ seasons. So SAFC still, you know, they're at the halfway point of the 2023 campaign and still trying to find themselves a little bit as far as a continuous lineup night in and night out. Pasher. Here's Mikey Lopez in the box. And Prosper Kasim as it'll belong back to Carlos Mercado.
Held my breath there a minute because it looked pretty dangerous, that onslaught of black jerseys moving into the box there. Wasn't too sure how that was going to go down, but going back to Pirano, he was one of the, we'll take a look back at this first. And good old Mitch Tainer there just to intercept that ball, make things difficult. But going back to Pirano, he was one of the all-time leaders in assists up until Justin Dillon just recently passed him up. So he's one of those guys you could put him in and he'll dribble at people. He'll, you know, mix things up. He's a spark off the bench as well. And, you know, maybe it's just time to do something different, right?
Yeah, last couple of matches kind of had found himself almost out of the general rotation for Alan Marcina. Jorge Hernandez, it kind of slipped into that role of that Christian Pirano had so often been accustomed to playing kind of that sitting forward underneath the 2 strikers. Hernandez has been outstanding as of late. And it was really just tough for Pirano to kind of try to find his minutes and find his impact on the match. The club's come to an agreement with him that he departs. As Jacob Roof loses his footing, but will return to his feet. Pressure coming by the newcomer Ish Jome, who makes his Toyota Field debut here tonight. 28-year-old Jome from Gambia, 13 matches of MLS experience, and this is his 70th career match in USL play. Spent some time in Austin and also with Colorado Springs. Ja'Cory Hayes, and out wide for Jome. Jome clips one into the box. Oluwaseyi brings it down. And looking for a handball at the top of the box. It was not to be. Rita Zuhir there was asking for one.
Looked like a bit of a handball to me, but again, you never can tell. Sometimes if they're unintentional and working to get your hand out of the way, the ref won't call them, but Something I'd have to see back there.
And so now Birmingham Legion with the Siadu will move forward. Good ball from Agudelo. And off Prosper Kasim. And it'll actually stay with Birmingham Legion here. Well, definitely off the outside of the elbow there of Mikey Lopez. Could have certainly been called for a handball. Now Marcina perhaps seeing an, again, early opportunity lost there at the top of the box. Gabriel Alves, the rookie. And back into the middle of the park, they'll switch the play. And again, Jacob Roof loses his footing. It's twice here in the last couple of minutes. For the right back, 23-year-old from Huntsville, Alabama.
So far, 1 assist on the season, team of the week in week 16. And, you know, there's something about this pitch. Not only does it get chippy physically, but might get chippy down there on the pitch as well. We've seen a couple of slipping and sliding here and there from time to time.
Well, the last time San Antonio FC played on this field was back on the 10th of June. And at that time, you know, there had been a lot of rain. Temperatures were still in the 80s, really had not hit summer yet. And basically, since SAFC has been gone, spring is gone, summer is here, 0 rain. Kickoff tonight, 97 degrees, so it feels more like summer. And with that, we often see, as the fans try to keep cool, the pitch sometimes then becomes a bit of a factor too, as they try to keep it in play for the summer. As Jorge Hernandez fakes out Oakle, and Hernandez puts in his first with SAFC. In the 10th minute, San Antonio is on the board in a 1-0 lead.
Jorge Hernandez does it early, just like we had talked about there, Dan. If you could put it on the board early, now it's about defending it. But look at this build-up. Great awareness of the goal. Just one easy touch. They give him a little bit too much space on the ball. You cannot give a guy like Jorge space on the ball because he will finish the job, as we see there. Perfect pocket in that upper 90.
So Jorge Hernandez, his first goal since joining San Antonio FC, 19th career goal in USL Championship play. And again, it's another early goal coming in the 10th minute, the 8th goal scored in the opening quarter hour for San Antonio FC, and hopefully a big one here as SAFC tries to snap this 4-match winless streak.
Right now, it's going to be all about staying switched on in these moments. We've seen it happen time and time again. 10, 15 minutes goes by, there's a lapse in judgment, and then the game's equalized. So they're going to have to really continue that intensity and pressure. And good work there from Ismail Jome. I mean, he did a great job there, getting an assist in his first debut here at home on the home pitch. And again, we always say this, every time Marcina brings a new person on the field, they contribute in some way. So great work there on the recruiting side.
A lot of space for Mikey Lopez, pushed out wide. There's Gabriel Alves working along with Prosper Kasim and Anderson Asiadu there, shadowing over to the midfield. Lopez back to Kasim. Kasim, a dangerous chance, and he shoots it wide. San Antonio FC, well, they got really spread out there. It allowed Mikey Lopez that space to set up the possession. It was interesting watching the broadcast last Saturday night and listening to the Sacramento commentators talk about how Mark Briggs, the head coach in Sacramento, had mentioned this season he had seen SAFC a little bit more spread out as a club in their formation than he had in years past. And it's when you think about the fact that they've given up 10 goals in their last 4 matches coming into tonight, it's almost as if teams are finding pockets where they can exploit San Antonio FC's back end. And there, Birmingham was able to do so, even if they don't get a shot on target.
Right, and you know, they're the team that everyone circles on the sheet. They won it last year, and so everyone's going to come with their best. And Fabian Garcia in a post-game press conference had mentioned that, hey, we're privileged to have people bringing their best to us right now because that means we're putting out something good. But I would agree. I've seen a little bit more horizontality added to their game, not so intensely direct, but still, I think it's all been a fantastic addition.
Agudelo stays onside here on this run, into the box, stops, SAFC recovers. This is Enzo Martinez. That's a great recovery by SAFC, getting numbers back behind the ball. Asiadu, Alves, he's got Prosper Kasim out wide, and it'll be Kasim who will send one in with his left, and no runner in space there for Birmingham Legion. It's again, good job by San Antonio FC. And Katie, here's what we were talking about before with San Antonio, a little bit of a June swoon as they go winless in their previous 4 matches after a victory over New Mexico United on the 27th of May. But look at that, 0-1-3. They get outscored by the opposition in June. It is their first winless month since, ironically, June of 2021.
Something about June, maybe it's this Texas heat. It's also, well, I guess they haven't really spent much time in Texas, so you can't say that. But, you know, it's definitely uncharacteristic for this SAFC team. There has been a ton of changes. We have to take that into account. But, you know, I think if I were a coach, I'd rather, you know, them get that out of the way early on. We're approaching mid-season here, and in the second half of the season, that's when things start getting really intense and people start stepping up.
Well, they have another early goal here tonight off the foot of Jorge Hernandez, his first as a member of SAFC, and a 1-0 lead against visiting Birmingham Legion. Meeting Legion for the 3rd consecutive season, and scoring a couple of 2-1 wins in the first 2 years of this rivalry. Birmingham at 7 wins, 7 defeats, 1 draw, and 22 points, 6th in the Eastern Conference table coming into tonight's match. San Antonio FC, 6 wins, 3 defeats, 7 draws, 25 points, and 4th in the Western Conference table. As Tommy Sohn from the bench looks on, former head coach DC United and interim head coach with both Vancouver Whitecaps and the New England Revolution. Here's Hernandez over the ball here on the set piece. Drives one into the box, was looking there upstairs for Fabian Garcia, instead turned out by Oluwaseyi.
You can see the intention there, trying to get that one in, but nice read from Fabian Garcia to just keep that one out of harm's way. Because you can see Carlos Mercado also really good with his feet, just like Jordan Farr. Big shoes to fill, but he's filling them well nonetheless.
Yeah, the last time Jordan Farr was not in the net in a USL Championship match for San Antonio FC was March 27th of last season, 2022. It was the final start for Christian Bonilla, who started the first 3 matches for SAFC last year and then promptly retired after the 3rd match against RGV. That opened the door back up for Jordan Farr to come back in. And of course, well, Farr, one keeper of the year, on his way to helping San Antonio FC capture their first ever championship. So it worked out well, but you have to remember that Jordan Farr didn't start last year as the starting keeper. And again, if you missed the news, this is what happened last Saturday night in Sacramento. Jordan Farr getting assessed a red card and suspended for tonight's match.
Quite a hard hit there, quite a hard fall, but again, I could see the intention. He was going out for the challenge. It's not often that a goalkeeper has to slide tackle another player, so maybe a little bit more practice there on that one. But either way, it's hard to be stuck in a tough spot like that, having to decide, hey, do I stay back and just try to make myself as big as possible, or do I beat them to the ball? And, you know, you got less than a second to make that decision, and he did what he did, and I don't blame him for it. I don't think it was a bad decision. It's just tough connection.
Of course, that prompted an interesting move at that point of the match. It was in the 87th minute. Now, San Antonio FC had only used 4 substitutes, but they had used them in the 3 windows, which meant they were out of substitute windows. So they could not substitute Carlos Mercado in for the closing minutes of that match. So Fabian Garcia had to put on the gloves and go serve as the keeper. And unfortunately, would let up a goal, a heck of a banger by Luis Felipe Fernandez in the 89th minute. I'm not even sure Jordan Farr would have stopped that shot by Fernandez, but kind of pouring some salt on the wound for Fabian Garcia, who's not a normal keeper, but had to go in and conceded the 3rd goal of the night for Sacramento.
I mean, good for him for reading it well. He was in the vicinity. He just didn't get that big open stretch like a keeper might have who has been training for it, right? But, you know, what's a really cool is that Carlos Mercado went there behind the goal to talk to Fabian and help him line up and help to set up the other players in that situation.
Enzo Martinez, and again, just wide of frame as he had beaten the defender. And a couple of times Birmingham Legion has gotten into dangerous spaces. They've just missed the target. Kasim and now Martinez a couple of times, but the chances have been there for Legion here in the opening minutes.
Yes, Martinez is one of those players who's extremely difficult to contain. I mean, Lamar Batista, one of those guys who's great on the 1v1. He was able to kind of make his way through him there. And, you know, Brett isn't on the pitch at the moment, but between Martinez and Brett, they can really make some amazing things happen. It's looking like that's coming more from Kasim here at the moment. Those combinations, and quite the dangerous player, let's just say that.
I expect to see Nico Brett in the second half. He's become more of a super sub at this point of his career. 31-year-old in his 8th pro season, is returned to Birmingham after playing last year in New Mexico United, but he is Birmingham Legion's all-time leading goal scorer. 31 goals in 58 matches for Nico Brett.
In the last 2 games, Nico and both Martinez have done a really good job of either they're in on the goal in some way, whether one of them scored or has had an assist or vice versa. So they're feeding really well off each other.
Pasher unable to settle. And it's Jome able to run by him. Jome. Well, service to the back post. Rita Zuhir in the vicinity, just unable to bring it down. He was unattended. He could have settled. Obviously, it would have been a difficult play, that ball in air, but still settled. Had plenty of time to probably bring it to his feet and take a great chance.
Great stuff from Jome so far. I mean, look at everything he's created just in these first few minutes. Responsible for a solid assist to a goal, and now another really pretty cross in.
Batista, pressure from Agudelo. Hernandez. Oh, crafty cutback. Now, Nico Hansen, unfortunate there, trying to return to Rita Zuhir, and that sets off the run from Asiadu. Anderson Asiadu is their engine in the midfield. Back to Mikey Lopez. Lopez, 3 goals in his 31 matches with SAFC back in the 2018 campaign. After that year, went to Birmingham and has not left since. Agudelo trying to make the run, and Garcia will read that one as he turns it out quickly on the reset here. Martinez, Alves. Birmingham will concede possession in the midfield. Ja'Cory Hayes. And the run from Nico Hansen out wide on the left side. Hansen dancing on the defender. Attempt blocked back out. Here's this Jome. Good action on both ends of the pitch here in this opening 20 minutes. SAFC with a 1-0 lead here tonight at home. Batista. It's off of Jacob Roof, and a throw coming up for San Antonio.
Great work from San Antonio across the board between Zuhir, Rita Zuhir getting all the way back to delay the attack, all the way to the way they're moving into the attacking third, especially on this left side. It's nice to see Ish and Nico and Jorge.
Alves will flick out. That ball came across the face of goal. He mentioned Matt Van Oekel not going to get that 40th career clean sheet in USL Championship play, but last week became the 5th oldest player in USL history to record a clean sheet at 36 years, 9 months and 1 day, just 6 days behind Dominic Jakubik of Sacramento Republic. And Van Oekel will take this one off the pitch.
I don't know that there's many people that you can pay at 36 years old to throw themselves on the floor time after time. Keepers have the hardest position on themselves for their body. Like, I can't even imagine. I don't even want to be out there anymore at this point. My joints hurt, so I can imagine what he's going through. But good on him. I mean, he brings that veteran leadership, and not only that, he's actually the goalkeeper coach as well for the Birmingham Legion, which I find very impressive.
Nico Hansen concedes there, heavy, as it's intercepted by Jacob Roof, and Agudelo holds up on the run and allow Carlos Mercado to take it back. So it's a 13-year difference between Mercado making his first USL Championship start at one end and Van Oekel at the other end. It's interesting, you know, Birmingham Legion, they've had the same 2 keepers for all 5 years. Trevor Spangenberg is also in his 5th season with Birmingham. Also, no young chicken, he's 32.
And you notice they're sharing time. You know, they're rotating games, and something tells me that has to do with maybe them being a little bit older in age. And at this point, you can still do it, but sometimes you need just a little bit more rest than the usual. So good on them.
Here's Tyler Pasher, last year with Houston Dynamo, Major League Soccer. Out wide is Roof. Roof sends one to the back post, trying to search out Agudelo. And the foul on Agudelo inside the box as Juan Carlos Azocar goes to ground. Good to see Jorge Hernandez obviously get on the board, and that's the other guy you'd like to see get going. Juan Azocar for San Antonio FC. Just his 5th match. Missed the first couple of months of the season because of personal reasons. But remember, this was a guy that was one of the highly touted acquisitions in the offseason after he scored 10 goals in 33 matches last season playing for Oakland Roots.
Right, and he's done some fantastic work out there as a wingback, both on the left and right side. So really solid ambidextrous player. If coach is trusting you on the left side to make those crosses in, that means you've got some quality on both sides. But yeah, no, he's done a great job despite the result last game. He really put San Antonio into some dangerous positions.
Pasher dancing on Ja'Cory Hayes. Agudelo. Birmingham firmly in control of possession here in this first half so far. Hernandez wins the ball. Field over Alex Cronali. And we'll switch the play. The direction over there of Prosper Kasim. Kasim running on Azocar. Anderson Asiadu. Kasim with Alves filling the middle, and now it's Asiadu for Enzo Martinez. And great job from Birmingham. They'll finally switch the play, stretching SAFC out to the right side now with Jacob Roof.
Birmingham doing a great job to switch sides. They're very aware that SAFC moves as a really tight unit. And so they're trying to switch it side to side until they can find some holes in the middle. And that's what we've seen from them so far. Service
from Asiadu, looking for Enzo Martinez, couldn't settle. Fabian Garcia able to make the clearance. Flicked along Tani Oluwaseyi on his horse, and instead it's Fanuel Kavita, the captain. Get it back to Matt Van Oekel, drives it forward.
San Antonio up a goal, but it feels really evenly matched to me here. Opportunities on both sides.
Agudelo. He's crafty along with Enzo Martinez up top here. And he's just dancing on Lamar Batista. Flicked back from Tyler Pasher. Roof now. They can control one side and then they can try to switch. And then again, you've got SAFC kind of stretched out as Carlos Mercado just drives it into the seats behind the SAFC bench here.
Going back to Agudelo, probably one of the most seasoned vets here on this Birmingham Legion team. Spent time with New York Red Bulls, Chivas, Inter Miami, New England Revolution. Lots of time in MLS. 28 caps with the U.S. men's national team as well. So very seasoned. You know, sometimes those players perform a little differently here later in their careers. They go down a level, things are just a little bit different. And so you see something different from him. But I mean, he has done such great work here in the USL. And definitely a change maker for this team.
He has the ball. Agudelo holds dual citizenship, American and Colombian. You mentioned extensive play in Major League Soccer. 48 goals in his 242 matches in MLS. Tonight also passes a milestone too, playing his 300th career match. It's off of Tyler Pasher, and we'll go back to San Antonio FC. Approaching a half hour gone. 1-0 SAFC with the lead on Jorge Hernandez's first goal of the season coming up in the 10th minute of this match.
Seeing some Richmond jerseys out there. Full support of Ted Lasso. We also have some Ted Lasso shortbread, which is amazing here up in the booth. I can't thank Lori enough for offering that to us.
That's Yvette Hankinson, our stage manager, who she works as hard as Jason Sudeikis does in delivering that shortbread.
Yvette, yes. I love Yvette.
Hernandez to ground, the foul whistled. San Antonio FC will take control here. SAFC in a real tough stretch when it comes to games, playing high-level competition. New Mexico United, the only club in a stretch of 8 matches for San Antonio FC that has a losing record, but still have got 2 more matches against quality competition. Memphis 905, which is on a 12-match unbeaten streak coming into Week 17, and also another rematch with El Paso Locomotive, which was the last match here at Toyota Field on the 10th of June. That was a wild back-and-forth affair, which finished in a 2-2 draw. Collision there as Jome and Asiadu knock heads. Asiadu gets back up. Jome still down on the pitch, and a counter possession here, and a foul. And the first caution of the night, and a professional foul on Azakar, and almost seemed as if he was trying to do that intentionally to allow Ish Jome to maybe rejoin the play, but he'll go into the books for the caution in the 29th minute.
Surprised the ref didn't at least call a timeout on that one. 2 players down for more than a couple seconds. You typically kind of stop time, but play had moved on, so.
First yellow of the season for Azakar, and for San Antonio FC, it's their 39th yellow as a club. Lamar Batista, who served the first card accumulation suspension in USL this season. He served it last Saturday in Sacramento. He's back tonight. Saw on the discipline report, Alan Marcina is 1 yellow away from a card accumulation suspension. I believe he's the first coach I've seen on that disciplinary report in a while to be sitting potentially on a card accumulation suspension.
Right, you don't see that often, but hey, at least he's fighting for his team there.
Got a yellow last Saturday, as did Mark Briggs in Sacramento. Martinez drives one over goal. I believe we're going to get the water break here at the half-hour mark. As we mentioned, summer's here in San Antonio. 97 degrees at kickoff tonight. Not much of a breeze. Well, the flags flying here in the 30th minute. Take a look at the table in the Western Conference as we come into Week 17 to the halfway point of the USL Championship season. We mentioned San Antonio FC. They are 4th in the Western Conference table entering play tonight. 25 points, 1 back of Monterey Bay. The Sacramento Republic's been the clear leaders in the conference all year, sitting on 32 points, Katie.
Right, and doing a great job there, just trying to keep themselves up in the top 4 or 5. I think if you can do that getting into the halfway through the season, you can really put it into next gear towards the end of the season, make it into a really, really solid playoff run. But every game counts here, as we know, but even more so after this.
And I mentioned that SAFC's in this stretch of matches where they're playing quality competition, but after the last match against El Paso Locomotive, they're going to come back home. They're going to have a Saturday night off, which of course is our international friendly on the 15th of this month against Sunderland. Just missed a chance of getting promoted to the English Premier League. That would have been amazing to have an English Premier side come to San Antonio. But after Sunderland comes SAFC, they're going to play 5 opponents, Katie, that are all sitting right now below the 500 plateau. I'm going to get a couple from the Eastern Conference side, and the Miami FC and Hartford Athletic, which just fired their head coach, the former U.S. standout for the national team, Top Ramos, this week. So the schedule's going to lighten up a little bit for SAFC. Not to say that you have to take every opponent seriously, but it has been a tough stretch in terms of competition for this SAFC squad over the last couple of months.
And it has, and they've been really tested. They've also been tested mentally. I mean, we've seen a bunch of yellows, a bunch of red cards. I think, Mitch Tainer just got back into this game by the skin of his teeth after that yellow was recalled, so good for him there. But, I think it's one of those moments where, okay, hey, we're a good quality team. No need to go in and, get reds and yellows, maybe be a little bit more aware of that side of the game. Yes, great physicality, that's needed. It's a part of the plan here for SAFC, but, at some point you kind of, you got to realize, hey, okay, maybe we need to do things a little differently, tone it down a smidge, play a little smarter.
You saw Mitch Tainer wearing the armband tonight in the absence of both PC and Connor Maloney tonight. Connor Maloney and PC are both on the bench in this match, so it's great, first of all, to see PC on the bench. He's been limited to just 6 matches so far out of the first 16 for San Antonio FC, dealing with an assortment of injuries. And Carter Manley, who left the match in the 7th minute in Sacramento, he's out with injury tonight.
Right, the depth that San Antonio FC has is really and truly next level. I mean, I'm loving the combinations between Jorge and Rita Zuhir. Great stuff. And then now you have this new player, Ish Joe, doing great stuff.
Crenale will turn it out, and it'll belong back to San Antonio FC.
And it's enough to where you have enough quality players that can step up when needed to give some of these veterans a break to get really fully healthy so they're not pushing their bodies to the brink every single game.
See PC right there along with Connor Maloney, and just a couple seats over to PC is the backup keeper tonight, Jude Brossart, who comes from the SAFC Academy. He's been in this role a couple of times over his tenure with San Antonio FC. Carlos Mercado getting the nod tonight in the absence of Jordan Farr. This is Kasim trying to search out Agudelo. He's there, and a great save from Mercado, tested for the first time tonight. Agudelo took it on the first try, and Mercado makes an impressive save to open his account.
We're gonna have to watch this back. Agudelo has made himself in a very dangerous position all the time. Unfortunately, he sends it right to Mercado, but Mercado read it well. He picked it up, sticky gloves. Great work there from Incarnate Word alumni.
That'll certainly give Carlos Mercado a boost of confidence as he makes his first save on the first shot on target, and a glorious chance for Birmingham Legion. And another good run inside for Prosper Kasim. Sends it towards the back post to defend it out. And that'll give us our first corner of the evening here.
Well done from Batista, reading that one. Great clearance as well. And, you know, I was going to say prior to this water break, Birmingham Legion was really gaining some momentum for a bit there. SAFC had a moment on the flip side, but, you know, for the most part, they're wanting it. They want that equalizer goal before this half ends, and it's very evident.
Garcia will head that one out. That corner was hooked in short to the near post, and so we'll do it again. Enzo Martinez, the in-swinger. This one to the back post is going to be punched out, brought down. That's driven off of Rita Zuhir. And again, Birmingham looking for a handball. And they want the assistant to see if they had a better vantage point as Birmingham Legion at this point. I don't think they're going to get it. Ooh.
I don't know that I would call that a hand just because he turned away from it. If anything, it hit his shoulder in that situation. But also, great hit from Alves to just bring it out of the air, volley it with power. That's not easy to do. I think if Rita hadn't been there, it would have gone there.
Amison upset on the Legion bench. Meanwhile, San Antonio FC back to work here. Jacob Roof close to pass back to his keeper. Instead, turning it out. We'll concede the corner to San Antonio FC here.
What do you think? That's a corner kick? I mean, how's it not a corner?
He's wanting the corner, which would make sense to me. Fair enough.
Meanwhile, Mikey Lopez slow to get up there.
We made our decision. That's enough. That's enough. Okay, fine.
You hear the fourth official.
Go away.
He's not having any of it, Katie, from either the head coach, Tommy Sohn, or Enzo Martinez. Great pickup by our mics down on the pitch level.
Yeah, it's you know, it's getting heated when the coach steps out of his box. You have to casually guide him back to the safe zone. But understandable, completely. Especially, I think it probably did clip his shoulder, and I think a corner kick would have been warranted on that. But it is what it is. We don't have VAR.
So instead, now SAFC with a chance at a corner on this end. In the 38th minute, up a goal. And Zuhair's bid is headed away from harm's way. Ishjom flips one back in. And fortunate there is Birmingham as Mitchell Tainer. That would have been a corner on the opposite side for San Antonio if Tainer doesn't come up with it at the end.
That was a great service in there from Ish. I mean, and right to the pocket where Mitch Tainer typically wants that ball. So I'm sure that's something they've practiced in training, and it's a testament to him and how he's able to adapt in a new squad, just knowing that's where the sweet spot is for him.
Behind the play, a foul here on Fabian Garcia, upending Agudelo. Agudelo's had the best chance for Birmingham in this first half. Stopped first time by Carlos Mercado. Mercado fired up. His team up a goal. In a spot start, the 23-year-old from Laredo. In the absence of Jordan Farr, serving a one-match suspension after receiving a red card late in the match last Saturday in Sacramento.
Good to see him talking and getting players rallied up, because so much of that, the coordination in the back line starts with the keeper, and you know he knows that going into it.
Pasher for Jacob Roof. And Tyler Pasher once again running on Batista. Pasher, low ball through. Oh, there was a runner there in Agudelo, just couldn't maneuver his way to get to it. Turned out by San Antonio and Azakar in the third corner here in the last few minutes for Birmingham.
You know, this is really quite the chess match on either side, because all of the plays going into the attacking third on both sides have been productive. Not a ton of notes, just great stuff on both sides attacking-wise.
That was not productive, that bid from Enzo Martinez. Another misfire. Back to Carlos Mercado.
I'd say up until this point, there's probably could have been 2 goals here from Birmingham Legion at least, but just missed touches in the final third. But all good stuff leading up to that.
A surprise for Birmingham Legion. Began the night 6th in conversion rate, just above 18%. San Antonio FC 10th at just a shade below 17%. Birmingham Legion, 50% of their shots end up on target, but that has not been the case tonight. Just the 1 shot on target on the attempt from Agudelo. Had about 4 or 5 that have been off target. It's a little uncharacteristic for them. No foul this time on Fabian Garcia as we play on.
Solid double team over there from Birmingham. Allows them to make this switch here.
Roof overlapping behind Pasher. Switch the play back into the middle of Siadu.
It's the name of the game for them. Keep switching side to side until you find a hole you can split through and try to get in behind the defense.
Alves, the young rookie. Oh, a beautiful turn around Azakar. And now Tainer trying to defend out of position a little bit. Kasim Martinez, nicely done there by Ja'Cory Hayes, coming back and deflects the ball back to his keeper. Mercado hearing the footsteps and seeing Agudelo coming forward and finally claim possession.
I think something that probably made a lot of fans' heart stops in that moment, because that was a pretty close one.
And so the point I was making before, Katie, Birmingham has 7 shots in this match. 7. San Antonio just 2. But only the 1 attempt from Agudelo on target.
Right, and that's why I think that this could have very easily been a 2-1 game here in this first half. They just missed a couple of really wide open shots, but sometimes those are the ones that are the hardest because the pressure's on.
Well, miscommunication between Martinez and Pasher there.
And speaking of missing goals, Birmingham actually went completely pointless in May. Didn't win a single match. They were actually leading the Eastern Conference, then dropped to 6th. So it's, I think, a testament to, you know, they have a really quality team. You just have to finish there in front of goal. That's the name of the game. And I think it's also, you know, something for San Antonio to take a look at. Hey, you have to bounce back from all of these ties and walk away with the win before it gets out of hand.
It's an early before halftime substitution. Nico Brett coming on here for Mikey Lopez. Lopez, who got nicked up a little bit, so he'll come out just before halftime in the 43rd minute. And talked about Nico Brett and his role as a super sub for Birmingham in his second go-around with Legion. The 31-year-old who played last year in New Mexico. 4 goals in 11 matches this season. And the club's all-time leading goal scorer with 31 in 58 matches coming into tonight.
As we mentioned prior to him stepping on the pitch, you're going to have to watch those combinations between him and Enzo Martinez. They are very dangerous together. They both bring some serious quality, and again, he's that spark off the bench.
Didn't look like Mikey Lopez was necessarily in a position that he wasn't able to continue. And usually, if you were to play it by the book, finish the half, Nico Brett would come on in a second half substitute role where, because again, sometimes you get into that situation like San Antonio kind of had the misfortune of last Saturday night where they didn't have a window to put Mercado in place of Jordan Farr. Remember, at halftime, that doesn't count as a sub window of one of your 3 windows. So Coach Sohn using a window here to substitute Nico Brett on for Mikey Lopez.
Right, I agree with that. Doesn't seem like the move, but maybe he's trying to get him warm going into that second half. Maybe they have dominated here as well in this first half. It's been quite a bit of time on SAFC's side, so maybe he's just trying to get that equalizer before you move into the half.
The 4th corner coming up for Legion as we come upon the first 45 minutes here of the opening half at Toyota Field. San Antonio with the lead, but Birmingham Legion has dominated when it comes to the chances so far.
Given this SAFC defense a run for their money. Nonetheless, a little bit of a tiff going on there, as would be expected at this point.
Pasher, left-footed in-swinger here. And that one comes down, out, and another corner for Legion. And again, Birmingham wanted a handball. We'll get 3 minutes added time here at the end of the half. Played short this time, Kasim. Just to clip one in, that goes off of Hernandez. Corey Hayes keeps it moving, but result of throw here for Birmingham.
It's hard to play it short when the defender has already read it. Corey Hayes was the perfect distance from that just to stir things up and cause some trouble.
Roof back to Van Oekel. 1 save for Van Oekel so far here tonight. 1 save for Mercado. It was a big one. And this is Tainer as he gets one to go wide. And Oekel calling for the ball quickly.
Lucky there. Sometimes it's hard when you have tons of time to run into space with the ball. Think a little bit too much about it. Legs get tired. Doesn't come out like you need it to.
Sails over Pasher and Batista, the matching 15s, in San Antonio will take the throw.
Speaking of legs being tired, I had mentioned how Birmingham went from 1st to 6th. They had played over 800 minutes in 18 days, and so no time to train is what Coach Schoen had said. That, just no time to train makes it difficult to make the changes and adjustments that you need.
Alley trapped in the corner, concedes as Jome with the interception. Here's Corey Hayes in some space. Oluwaseyi trying to make the turn, unsuccessful there. Conceding is Pasher, now trying to win the ball back from his Jome, and Pasher going to be whistled for the foul. We'll see whether it's only a foul or whether Pasher will go into the books as well too. Appears Pasher will escape the books of Natalie Simon.
I'd say it's pretty aggressive. There was a jersey pull that could have been a thing, but all things considered, I don't think yellow's warranted there. Good to have the free kick.
So you hear the chants of Amarillo from the fans. They wanted a yellow on Tyler Pasher.
They do not agree in this one. But again, the ref can't win, I think, on either side. So
dangerous set piece though, with Rita Zuhir over the ball. Closing seconds of the first half. Boy, if San Antonio can get a second here, that would be tasty. Zuhair, a little bit too much on that ball as it sails away.
Yep. Just a little bit too much happens to the best of us, and they're saved by the whistle.
And that takes us to halftime at Toyota Field. Jorge Hernandez in the 10th minute. It's the keeper, Matt Van Oekel. San Antonio FC, despite being outshot 8-3 in the first half, a 1-0 lead here to begin week 17 of the USL Championship campaign on Bally Sports. Our halftime coming up on the other side.
Hi, sports fans. I'm Jeff Davis. To be a successful athlete, you need to have a great strategy. And just like your favorite competitor, at Davis Law Firm, we play to win.
Working remotely during this national emergency, we settled a wrongful death case for $6 million for the family of a father killed by a company van.
That means call the Fours because the Fours are with you. So if you've been in a car truck wreck, call me at 444-4444. That's 444-4444. We'll come to you during this broadcast. That's right, there's only one number to remember, and that's 4.
I'll never quit. Can't stop, man, I'm too legit. Prime time in my own mind. Victory, it tastes so fine. Part of a winner, you just a beginner. I'm saying I'm taking it all, yeah.
We're bringing big back. It's bigger, cheesier. The Big New Yorker from Pizza Hut. Big pizza, bigger deal. Y'all hungry? Better be hungry.
Are you ready? Ready for more of the game you love? Ready for more players and more teams? Ready for more stadiums, for more fans in more cities? This is a different league. The USL Super League. Built for the future of women's soccer. Bridging the journey from youth to pro, connected to the global game, and bringing it all closer to home. Are you ready?
We all have goals. But let's be honest, most of us aren't going to be professional athletes. But if your goal is to finish your degree, we can help. Come to a university that puts your goals first. Bellevue University, your partner in finishing goals.
Turned over, Babu Karjai to put it away! Phoenix Rising will take all 3 points, 3-1 Rising!
love about the Chick-fil-A spicy chicken biscuit is that it has the perfect amount of spice to jumpstart my day. I just love how the biscuit just matches perfectly with the spice on the chicken fillet. Whoever thought of it, thank you so much.
Hi, my name is Robert, and a little thing I love about Chick-fil-A spicy chicken biscuit is the biscuit. It reminds me of my grandma's homemade biscuit. It's always buttery and savory. The chicken is always crispy. Then you add the spices to the chicken, instant classic.
Beast said to be roaming these woods. And if you listen carefully, you can hear it. And sometimes you can see its tracks. And every now and then, you get a quick glimpse of it.
Grandpa telling his stories again.
The 2023 Toyota Tundra. Better trucks make better stories. Toyota. Let's go places.
To me, the power of an educator is an awesome responsibility. Wanting kids to see their full potential and how amazing they are. As an educator, First Mark has helped me learn how to manage money. And now that we have financial literacy in the classroom, I'm able to use those life lessons in showing my kids how to take care of themselves financially.
At the half, San Antonio FC up 1 over Birmingham Legion FC as we celebrate Independence Day weekend. Toyota Field here on Valley Sports as we say hello once again from the broadcast booth with Katie Goodman. I'm Dan Weiss. And Katie, both sides I'm sure have plenty to like about the first half. For San Antonio, they get the first goal. They have not lost in their last 54 matches when scoring the first goal. That's a good sign. But if you're Birmingham, you have to like the chances that you created in that opening 45 minutes as well.
Oh, yeah, so many chances indeed. But, you got to hand it to newcomer Ishmael Jones for handing it over to Jorge Hernandez with such ease. Nice little pass. He's been really productive. Quite a few chances here, as you can see. Here, almost on the end of it there. So, great addition to SAFC. But here you are, Hernandez. Great job there up top. Martinez as well. And just coming in, and he's been one of those players to watch, right? Him and Agudelo, they've done some serious damage. They've had really productive plays, just couldn't get on the end of it. So moving into the second half, just finish things out, right? Finish the shot. And then for SAFC, we haven't really utilized Nico Hansen a ton. Try to get some of those long balls over the top, stretch the field a little bit more. We haven't seen them stretching a ton of the field. We've seen them we've seen Birmingham
more side to side.
Right, more side to side. So I think they need to get back into dictating play, getting those first and second balls, defending higher up the field, and hey, it could be a great game, right?
Here are the numbers from the first half. We mentioned a bit of a disparity in the shots, even though not a lot on target for Birmingham. They're out shooting San Antonio, but just both the one shot on target for both sides, and then a heavy possession favor for Birmingham Legion, starting to generate corners as well at the end of the first half too.
Right, I think they dominated that first half, but you got to hand it to San Antonio FC. They got the early goal, they defended it well, and again, it's just a chess match here in the final third. San Antonio FC just has to do a little bit more work there to get in the final third in the second half, because if they continue to allow the Legion to play, it's only a matter of time before there's an equalizer.
And again, Carlos Mercado, the 23-year-old, making his first start in USL Championship, and he's looked very poised, came up with the one save that he needed to, and he's sitting in a good position here, Katie, to start the second half.
Right, he's positioned himself well with all shots against him, so I think even had the shots on goal been a little more dangerous, he would have been there to receive. So all good things I'm seeing from him, communication, leadership, that's what you want. And, he's iron sharpens iron. He's been training with Jordan Farr, so
that's true.
I would expect nothing less.
More halftime coming up on the other side. Mercado and SAFC up a goal, 1-0 here at home over Birmingham Legion as we continue here on Valley Sports.
At HEB, we're inspired by Mexico. The colors, the flavors, and aromas. And we want to share them with you. So we created the H-E-B Mi Tienda family of products with authentic Mexican flavors, from savory marinated meats, frijoles and queso, to tamales, soft drinks, and more. H-E-B Mi Tienda brings you the traditional flavors you love. One more reason here, everything's better.
Hey San Antonio, it's Sean Elliott. When I was playing in the NBA and needed a transplant, the Spurs would have sent me anywhere. But I knew I didn't need to leave home because Methodist Healthcare provides world-class care right here in our backyard. Whether it's transplant services, heart health, or cancer care, Methodist Healthcare has us all covered with the top programs in the city and the entire state. Expertise matters. Stay close to home and choose Methodist Healthcare for all of us and our families.
San Antonio FC up a goal over Birmingham Legion, 1-0 here at the half at Toyota Field. Second half coming up on the other side. Katie rejoins me. We'll have it for you next.
Inspired by Mexico. The colors, the flavors, and aromas. And we want to share them with you. So we created the H-E-B Mi Tienda family of products with authentic Mexican flavors, from savory marinated meats, frijoles and queso, to tamales, soft drinks, and more. H-E-B Mi Tienda brings you the traditional flavors you love. One more reason here, everything's better.
Hey San Antonio, it's Sean Elliott. When I was playing in the NBA and needed a transplant, the Spurs would have sent me anywhere. But I knew I didn't need to leave home because Methodist Healthcare provides world-class care right here in our backyard. Whether it's transplant services, heart health, or cancer care, Methodist Healthcare has us all covered with the top programs in the city and the entire state. Expertise matters. Stay close to home and choose Methodist Healthcare for all of us and our families.
Start of the second half at Toyota Field. San Antonio FC up a goal over Birmingham Legion, 1-0. Jorge Hernandez, his 19th career goal in USL Championship play, but his first in 10 matches since joining San Antonio FC from his club in Belgium. As we get set to start the second half, San Antonio FC will go to their bench here. It looks like Connor Maloney, who did not play in the first half, he will start the second half for Ish Jome. Jome still getting his playing legs back under him. So Maloney will start in the second half, and I guess it's fair to say, Katie, that for Ish Jome, his rate limit was exceeded tonight.
Right. I mean, he came in and he did exactly, I think, what was expected of him. He got into some plays, he created some things, he got an assist on the sheet, and had some great crosses. Now, Connor Maloney, good to see him back in, trying to squeeze some minutes in as we, move throughout the schedule, but he's just one of those players that it's hard to replace him because he brings a certain level of heart and intensity that is just really hard to match.
So Maloney will take the natural spot of Jome on the outside. Azakar opposite him. And Connor Maloney. He'll let Mitch Tainer continue to wear the armband for the second half. He's a nice guy.
Probably be more effort just to take it off, right, than to put it back on.
Now, this is Connor Maloney's 82nd match with San Antonio, and I'd have to go back and look. I think it's the first time he's come on as a substitute in any of his matches with SAFC. But I double-check that one.
That would make sense. It would make sense because it's either he's in or he's out, right? But, you know, anything could happen. I think, you know, Marcina probably realized with the amount of rotation going on defense that, hey, you need to have players that can back up the really key players on the team and to do it with quality. And I think that Isjom did a fantastic job there. It's going to be some competition in practice, no doubt.
Adderley Simon with a whistle. We're underway in the second half, along with Katie Goodman and our entire crew. I'm Dan Weiss. Thanks for joining us here on Valley Sports. SAFC trying to pick up their first win since the end of May. They're in a good position, up a goal over Birmingham Legion here after 45 minutes. No changes for Legion in the second half. Remember, they went to their bench late in the first half. Nico Brett, number 11, coming on for the former SAFC midfielder Mikey Lopez. So Brett will start there up top along with Prosper Kasim, Juan Agudelo, and Enzo Martinez. You almost might see Enzo Martinez really kind of sit behind more of the strikers and Agudelo and Brett and Kasim here in the second half. Well, he was certainly active in terms of getting above to where the strikers were in the first half. Had some success even though he wasn't able to capitalize. Agudelo is brought down. We play on. Manuel Cavito will leave it to Van Oekel, who will just go box to box.
Keeper to keeper.
Carlos Mercado gets rid of it. Azakar clips it along. SAFC in an offside position. As the flag goes up. And Jacob Roof now off the reset. Connor Maloney skying for that one. Kasim will take it. Switching the play back for Jacob Roof. Hustle to track this one down and just keeps it ahead of the touchline and then concedes to Azakar.
Let's go for the Maradona. Didn't quite work out there. Great work from Azakar to just pick that one up.
Fortunately, heavy touch by Azakar and turns into a foul. Birmingham Legion -4 on the goal differential. SAFC +10 for the season after the goal here tonight. But Legion can score. 21 goals on the season coming in tonight. Olawashei, and he was hoping Nico Hansen would keep running. Hansen did not. Meanwhile, Fanuel Cavita steps forward. Nico Brett will turn it out wide to Prosper Kasim. And Brett making the return run, and Brett gets clipped down in the box there. And no penalty awarded.
Great work there from Mercado, just reading that ball, coming out to meet him there. I can see where the contention would be about the play, but all clean there, all ball. Just happened to get him in the middle of it. Gave him just the right amount of pressure that he needed.
Another cheeky little run there for a Birmingham striker. They've had several in this match. Hernandez. Azakar. Oh, that's free in the box. Jorge Hernandez. And a great stop by Cronali, making the second biggest save of the night as he stops Jorge Hernandez, who had a point-blank chance.
Great stuff there from Cronali. Man, again, they've given Jorge just a little bit of time. Good look there from Azakar, and then goes to get on the end of it. And solid tackle. Again, San Antonio beginning to wake up here. More opportunities in the attack. Again on their side, just needing to finish those opportunities.
Second corner of the match for SAFC as Rita Zuhair will take it to the far stick. Right-footed in-swinger in this instance. Cronali saving a second goal, perhaps. clearance out here from Birmingham. Out wide, Asiadu. Two will shadow him for Enzo Martinez. Slips past Tainer. Birmingham keeping it moving. San Antonio FC will recover here as they switch off to the right end now. Jacob Roof to Prosper Kasim. Agudelo. And nicely done by Fabian Garcia. Agudelo hesitated a little bit, allowed Fabian Garcia to kind of provide just enough of a detour that didn't allow a straight line ball to Agudelo.
Great stuff up top. You notice Enzo Martinez kind of holding back, more of a 6 role here in this second half. He's known to play a false 9 though, where he'll get up in the mix and then he'll pull defenders out. That's kind of the name of the game between him and Nico Brett, so something just to look out for.
Yeah, he's playing the Mikey Lopez role here in the second half. He's kind of dropped back to allow Nico Brett to get forward with the rest of the strikers. But to your point, he's more than capable, as we've seen, of getting forward himself. So Asiadu wins the challenge there. Hernandez, it's probably been his best match with SAFC that we've seen. Azakar slips one along Nico Hansen. Over the top, and Van Oekel reaches out to snag it away.
What a chip in though. That was a great chip in. Almost looked like it was going out, but able to get on the end of it with that speed.
Kasim trying to search out Nico Brett. Instead, Tainer with the clearance forward. Asiadu loses his footing. A couple players struggle with their footing. That's a hard challenge there. And a foul whistled on Cronali.
Definitely a foul, and I think it's a testament to the work that Jorge Hernandez has been putting in here in this first and second half. I mean, you start frustrating players and you start taking that out on you. He's great with the ball at his feet. He's great with distribution. And he's really, really dangerous outside the box.
Azakar. Zuhair. Ja'Cory Hayes. A little space forward. Instead, back to Rita Zuhair. Azakar in front of the touch line. That might be a foul before, and it will be. It's going to be whistled on Alves, and it wasn't anything that was going to be happening there because Nico Hansen had held up. But the foul on Alves will now instead set up a pretty dangerous set-piece opportunity for San Antonio FC.
And it will. Good to see some solid sportsmanship after the fact either way. Hard to come by sometimes, and a lot of things you could do here in this pocket. You could have another player in the mix, get a better shot on goal, or take it yourself and put it into the mix, which is kind of looking like what they're going to do here.
The brilliant left foot of Jorge Hernandez will set up here. He's responsible for the only goal in this match. Can he provide the spark for a second? Ellie Simon will finally blow the whistle to give Hernandez the opportunity. That one tracking to the back post, and Van Oekel reads it in its entirety.
Great hands there from Van Oekel. Mat ups as well. He's got some pretty tall center backs there to help him out, but he makes up for it as well with those mat ups.
Martinez, Alves, Pasher now upfield. Pasher running on Mitchell Tainer. Into the box where Fabian Garcia will drive it out.
It's a good clear. Good time to make a clear as well.
Siadu. Martinez.
Under pressure in a full sprint, but still had some really solid composure, just not quite top there, but I think it's definitely wise to see them start testing that back line there in that space.
Sixth corner of the evening for Legion. Brett, a little flick. We'll get it back. Nico Brett, stopped by Carlos Mercado, punches that one away. Legion continue to play forward. Pasher, edge of the box. Loses his footing, recovers. Anderson Asiadu. Catch Mitchell Tainer off guard here. Asiadu. A couple times he's faked. Now sends one in, and Fabian Garcia will drive it out.
Great save there from Mercado. Kind of looks like he took one to the face there. As you can see, he's now sitting down on the pitch. Seems like a point-blank drive to the face.
From tight quarters as well from Nico Brett, who's got a tremendous right foot. We'll take a look at it again. I don't think that you could see almost Birmingham, if you could hear, saying it didn't hit him in the face.
It looked like he deflected with his hand, but when he came down, his face might have hit his own knee. I've sadly done that before. It's possible. You can knee yourself. And it kind of looked like he came down hard, or maybe his knee was in the way. But hey, you know what? He's back up. It's all that matters.
Pasher on the corner. Foul on Alves. Trying to fight for the ball against Jorge Hernandez. Hernandez's goal standing here as we approach the 1 hour mark. SAFC will go to the bench here as we'll see PC for the first time since, I want to say, the end of May, as he's going to come on here for Azakar. And Nacho Bailoni will enter the match at the 1 hour mark in place of Nico Hansen. Well, great to have PC back on the field. 7th appearance this season. It's been an injury-plagued year for the SAFC captain. Makes his 67th appearance as a member of SAFC. And Nacho Bailoni's 4 goals on the season. He'll come on for the 53rd time as a member of SAFC.
Bailoni, one of those guys who can do some serious work off the bench. Most of his goals coming off of the bench as a super sub. Anytime you have veteran PC in the mix, usually ups the tempo of the game as well, so some good substitutions there from Marcina.
It's been a well-played match from both sides. San Antonio FC's probably had to defend a little bit more than maybe Al Marcina would like here tonight, but they've defended well. As Birmingham keeps moving up the field. SAFC has used 3 subs now in 1 window. Legion, just the 1 sub so far that came before the end of the first half, with Nico Brett coming on for Mikey Lopez.
Speaking of Nico Brett, he's one of those guys nursing a hamstring injury, so a lot of people didn't expect him to get a ton of time, but as we saw, subbed in late into that first half. Probably expecting a full half from him here.
Another throw here for Legion. So much of the play tonight has been in the defensive third half of the field for SAFC. Martinez couldn't bring that down cleanly. Again, another over-the-top try. This time was read well by Cronali. Pasher out wide. Martinez, dangerous play. The footsteps coming, and they're going to win the ball. Oluwaseyi driving in. Oluwaseyi slips it through and in, and SAFC is up 2 here, just past the 1 hour mark.
And there you have it, that over-the-top tricky ball did the trick this time. And in this case, they just couldn't hold him back. Great composure, solid strength there, and even better placement.
And a first-class celebration, too, for Tani Oluwaseyi, his 6th of the year. Now Marcina always talks about the pressure both on and off the ball, and the 3 collapse on Fanuel Kavita, who concedes, and Oluwaseyi makes them pay.
You can thank SAFC, you can thank his teammates for that. SAFC defending a little bit higher up the field, and quite a bit of red jerseys in the mix there, forced the turnover. He was able to get on the end of it and fully take advantage.
A huge insurance goal for San Antonio FC. Just past the 1 hour mark, gives them a 2-goal lead.
You have to hand it to San Antonio. They're just taking advantage of their opportunities. And we've said this time and time again, Birmingham doing a great job of commanding the game. I think, though, you know, San Antonio FC woke up a little bit here in the second half. They're starting to, again, dictate play. A little bit more in control here in the second half.
Connor Maloney working with Jorge Hernandez and Ja'Cory Hayes now. Even up to the fans here certainly will not feel necessarily comfortable. They've seen some crazy things here at Toyota Field over the past 6 weeks or so.
That they have, so you definitely can't discount anything. Just gotta cross your T's, dot your I's, and mind your P's and Q's.
SAFC has a foul here, whistled on Fanuel Kavita, Nacho Bailoni, but SAFC had a 3-0 lead over San Diego Loyal back on the 3rd of June, just before the final quarter hour mark, and San Diego scored 3 times to walk out of here with an improbable point. And then the following week, SAFC had a 2-1 lead late in the match, only to give up the equalizer to their former striker, Luis Solignac. So for yet another somewhat unsatisfactory point. But here again, up 2 goals. Just under a half hour remaining. As Jorge Hernandez gets ready to take this set piece. Drives one in, and the clearance from Kavita, although not all the way out. Second ball won by Birmingham. And we'll push it forward, PC. Batista.
Nice footwork there from Batista. That's one of the best things about him is, yeah, he's a solid defender, but he can do some damage on the attack.
Bailoni to that back post, nobody in the vicinity. Back to Birmingham.
Tension was there, but you also had Rita Zahir at the top of the box. Could have been an option. Again, it's hard to see when you're nearing the end line. A lot of times, first thought is, hey, just get across and see if someone can get on the end of it.
Zahir put there by Crenali, and that will likely put him into the books of Natalie Simon.
Deserved yellow there. He's been pretty chippy all night long, I would say, so matter of time on that one.
It's his 5th caution of the season. Again, another chance for San Antonio FC to slow the game down, set up a set piece, up 2 goals here. Van Oekel looks on. Tani Oluwaseyi now 6 goals in just 8 appearances for San Antonio after that goal in the 62nd minute. Zahir and Hernandez with over the ball. It'll be Rita Zahir. He's going for goal, and right into the midst there of Matt Van Oekel.
Great read from Van Oekel. We've seen it from Rita Zuhir before. He's sunk that shot. Just not against veteran Van Oekel.
That's a good run there for Pasher, and he makes the turn, puts one into the box. Connor Maloney, 2 at first, defends it out.
Again, Maloney, the engine that never stops. I'm sure he's probably grateful for the much-needed rest, but now he's coming out turbocharged.
Yeah, he's going to give you 120%, having only played 45 minutes tonight. Anderson Asiadu, who coughed it up on the previous goal, now wins it away. Martinez into the box. Agudelo trying to make the turn, and well, you had 4 or 5 SAFC defenders collapse there. Would not allow Agudelo to get that one off.
Good intention there from Martinez, just a little bit too much pressure. He's distributed that same ball time and time again, which has been successful for Birmingham. Antonio just did a pretty good job closing it down there.
Now Birmingham will go to their bench as Colin Smith will enter the game for the captain, Fanuel Kavita. And Divo Wegbo. He will come into the game here for Prosper Kasim. And actually it was Roof, not Kavita, who came out for Colin Smith. Smith is a 19-year-old on loan from FC Dallas, and Wegbo is a rookie out of William & Mary. He scored last week in their victory over Indy. And a good chance there, and again looking for a handball, was not to be, and a foul on a dangerous play for Nico Brett with a ball, or with a boot rather, up top.
No other but Connor Maloney laying himself out there for the play. Great to get on the end of it. Foul, I don't know if I would call that a foul.
Not only did they call it a foul, I believe they gave Nico Brett a yellow as well, too.
I mean, he refrained from the high kick. You could tell he was trying to hit that volley out of the air, and then Connor Maloney came in and intercepted, and he refrained. I think if he had actually hit the high kick, then yeah, that would have been something to book someone for, but.
Mohamed Abu getting ready to come on here for the final 20 minutes for SAFC. And another dangerous chance for Birmingham. Is unable to be cashed in. Agudelo with a little bit of a body check there on Lamar Batista.
Frustrations at an all-time high, understandable. Looking like Tony taking. Okay, having some words there with coach.
So Abu will come on here for Rita Zuhir for the final 20 minutes. Another productive night for the 19-year-old in his 6th start with SAFC, as Abu, the veteran, will come on. SAFC trying to see out these final 20 minutes and pocket a much-needed 3 points. Be off of Connor Maloney, and it'll belong back to Van Oekel. So again, Colin Smith on the play outside of the position previously occupied by Jacob Roof. And Divo Wegbo will switch out Prosper Kasim. And this is Wegbo, first touch. Tainer. And Abu will get his first touch on the ball. That is off of Wegbo. It'll belong back here to San Antonio, and an injured Ja'Cory Hayes. They need a little more attention.
It's looking like a bit of a cramp situation, understandable in this heat. Sure, due for a water break. Hydration break here soon.
Will come up in the next 3 or 4 minutes.
Ja'Cory, one of the only center mids to have not been subbed out here so far.
It's 91 still temperature, but the dew point pushing to almost 70, so it feels like 97, and I gotta believe it feels well north of 100 down on the field. That fan can certainly tell you what it feels like.
If you know anything about Birmingham, Alabama, it's both pretty hot and humid. A lot more humid than it is here, so it's understandable why they're somewhat unfazed, I think, tonight. At least it seems so. You're not seeing a bunch of players down with cramping, huffing and puffing. Just keep going.
Alves gonna search out Agudelo. Lands at the feet of Connor Maloney. Hayes, Hernandez. Oluwaseyi, Bailoni gives it a go.
Great look from Bailoni. Fortunately over the crossbar. They also had Abu coming out wide there. That could have been an option, but they went for the creative central distribution, and I like it. Just a near miss.
And so we'll have that water break now here in the 74th minute, as both clubs will head over to their respective benches. San Antonio FC Soccer here on Valley Sports is brought to you by Toyota. Go to buyattoyota.com or visit your local Toyota dealer today. Week 17 of the USL Championship season officially marks the halfway point of the campaign. San Antonio FC playing their 17th match out of 34 here in the season tonight. They'll look back at the 2 goals scored in this one. The first one off the right foot of Jorge Hernandez in the 10th minute to get the scoring start, beating a flat-footed Matt Van Oekel, and then a giveaway from Fanuel Kavita that led to the chance for Tenny Oluwaseyi on the break, and he slips it into the back of the net.
There's no doubt that when SAFC is playing their super direct vertical style of play, that they are extremely successful. They started that high press early on in that second half, you know, giving themselves a little bit of cushion. But as they say, 2-0 is the worst lead in soccer, so we start to get comfortable. So for them, it's staying switched on here in these final minutes. Either way, great showing out there for Jorge and Tommy.
SAFC, a little bit of a shorter week as they'll play at Memphis 9:01 rather next Friday night at AutoZone Park in downtown Memphis, and then after that match they continue a 2-match trip with a midweek match at Southwest University Park, another Copa Tejas battle against El Paso Locomotive. 2 more very difficult matches coming up on the road for San Antonio FC before they can finally come back, take a breath, and enjoy a little bit of home cooking, as they're going to have their bye week, which they'll actually play against Sunderland AFC in an international friendly, and then a couple of matches at home against the Miami FC and Hartford Athletic before heading back out on the road in the beginning of August. Offside flag up. Hernandez here. One final quarter hour remaining. San Antonio FC, we mentioned, Katie, not only are they trying to pick up their first win since the end of May, they haven't posted a clean sheet since that 7-0 thrashing of Charleston Battery nearly 2 months ago on the 13th of May.
I mean, sometimes it gets to your head when you come out with a win like that, but I'd like to think not. There's been quite a bit of rotation in the lineup. I mean, a bunch of reds, a couple of yellows. You know, things have been complicated for this team. I think they're still trying to find the exact lineup that fits perfectly. Lots of rotation in the center of the park, but I think they have found something really good there with Zuhir and Hernandez, and you know, again, just stacked with so much depth. You can have all depth in the world, but it's how those players work together that really makes them dangerous, right? And so sometimes that takes time.
They haven't been completely unproductive in that time in their last 6 matches without a clean sheet. 1 win, but 3 draws, and they've stacked up the draws for a The Western Conference leading 7 coming into week 17, so oftentimes they're coming away with something. Still in the top 4 in the table as they hit the halfway point of the season. Mohamed Abu. Alawashe with another tremendous turn in the box. Drags one over goal with the left foot. A return back to Van Oekel.
What a turn. Great turn. Opened himself up. Had a look at the goal. Almost looked like that. If it hadn't cleared the top bar, would have been a really great opportunity. And that's something he's so good at. That's why he's able to break away and get those opportunities. Just going for that opposite 90, just didn't quite hit it.
Washe taken 17th overall by Minnesota United back in the 2022 Major League Soccer Super Draft as he's on loan after bagging 20 goals in his career playing for the Red Storm of St. John's. And especially now in the absence of Sam Adeniran, who was recalled from his loan by St. Louis City, Luashe becomes even that much more important. Nico Brett. Agudelo. Excuse me, that was actually Colin Smith over there on the right side cutting it back in. And off his left foot, Carlos Mercado comes away with the save.
Quality save at that, because what a zinger there. Talk about perfect positioning. And that's what makes this SAFC keeper team, you know, between both Farr and Mercado. You're going up against guys every day in practice. You're going up against the best keeper in the league and some of the best forwards in the league day in and day out at practice. And because of that, you see things like this. Just great positioning, reading the play. It's like he's already got fans.
He's got a cheering section, no doubt about it. Those mitts have been pretty solid tonight. Really had to get a boost of confidence from that first save in the opening half against Agudelo, who took it first time. Mercado was there not only to stop it, Katie, but allow no rebound either.
Right, and that's exactly what you want to see in those situations. Sticky gloves. A lot of amateur keepers will go up, they'll get there, they'll block it, they'll deflect it, and then they'll have to go and recover, and sometimes that's where they get in trouble. Instead, he came in with those sticky gloves, the quality save.
Final sub of the night for San Antonio FC. Justin Dillon will come on for Ja'Cory Hayes for the final 10 minutes of the match. 8,266 in attendance tonight. It is the 4th sellout of the year, which ties the club best for most in a season, along with 2017. It's also the 4th biggest crowd in club history, which trails the USL Championship final, the first match ever back in 2016 in the 2019 season finale against Colorado Springs. So this San Antonio FC faithful tonight has come out on a steamy opening night of July and have been entertained and rewarded by the home side with their performance here this evening.
You got to hand it to these San Antonio fans. I mean, they come in and they support really when they're needed, right? And sometimes you need your fans the most when you've had a bad run of games. And you can't tell me that this isn't helping them tonight.
Meanwhile, a chance breaking in, and Mercado will see his shutout unfortunately come to a conclusion. As slipping through was Tyler Pasher. Birmingham Legion is on the board here in the 80th minute.
Very, very tricky there from Enzo Martinez. Hard when you're coming, when someone's dribbling at you with so much speed there. Pasher with the breakaway. Just didn't quite make himself big enough. Couldn't quite get to the ball. Pasher with the speed, the composure.
It's the 3rd goal of the season for Tyler Pasher, and unfortunately, Katie, continues somewhat concerning trend for San Antonio FC when it comes to giving up late goals. They had played their first 12 matches of the season without giving up a goal in the final quarter hour. That is now the 5th goal they have given up in the final quarter hour in their last 5 matches.
You know, you started seeing quite a bit of confidence from them in the minutes prior to that goal. Sometimes, you know, you get a little bit too comfortable. Hey, we're possessing, we're doing well, we're getting opportunities, we're taking the lead. Again, 2-0 is the worst lead in soccer because you get a little bit too confident and comfortable, and I think that might be what happened. Just a lapse of judgment. It's a hard one, tough one there for Carlos Mercado to be in that situation, but again, slightly good positioning. Only thing is coming off that line a little bit sooner.
And it gives life to the visitors here, who don't have a lot of time. Under 8 minutes, and I'd say probably 5 in addition, considering the number of substitutes and some of the injuries that have gone on in the second half. So well, you think at least maybe about just under another 15 minutes or so, but that's a sufficient amount of time for Birmingham to try to fight for the equalizer here.
Right, anything can happen in those 15 minutes, and it's really important here for SAFC to put it into this tying streak. They need to get back in it. They have a really solid crowd here supporting them tonight. Hopefully that was, you know, enough of a shock to kind of wake them up and get them back focused. But you got to hand it to Birmingham. It was only a matter of time. They've created so many quality chances, all good stuff. Just couldn't quite get on the end of it until that last one.
Of course, if you're a believer in history, this is exactly the scoreline we should have expected, as SAFC's won the previous 2 matches by this exact 2-1 line. Foul whistled in the midfield here against Agudelo. See if San Antonio FC, they try to slow play this one here in the final waning minutes of full time. Nursing a 1-goal lead over Birmingham Legion, who's gotten some life with Tyler Pasher's goal in the 80th minute, his 3rd goal of the season. PC over to claim on this throw-in. Searching out Oluwaseyi, he drives it down as he heads it on. Van Opel there for the save.
Not a bad idea. Hard to get the oomph you need off the end of a cross like that. Lobbed a bit. Keeper's there, read it well. But good effort nonetheless.
Kavita. Alves. Cronali will switch over to Colin Smith, the young 19-year-old from the FC Dallas Academy. Agudelo in a fight past Fabian Garcia. Is it knocked away from him? Bailone turns it back, but Colin Smith there to intercept. Pasher onside. Pasher into the box. Pasher trying to drive one on, and that's blocked. Batista able to knock it out. And a throw here for Birmingham Legion.
Fantastic block and read from Batista, but you cannot give a player like Pasher that kind of time. He's a Canadian men's nationals and caliber player, spent time on Dynamo in MLS. I mean, evidenced here, 3rd goal, 2 assists. Was able to make it to the 2021 Gold Cup team as well, 2 caps there. And as you can see here, just taking on people is what he is best at. Great on the left foot as well. Had some power behind it. If it weren't for Batista, could have been another shot.
They earn a set piece here following a yellow against Nacho Bailone. And it'll be the aforementioned Tyler Pasher will be over the ball here. Native of Elmira, Ontario. Looking for the equalizer late in this match. Headed away by Garcia, although not very far. That's loose down in front and cleaned up and cleared out from Nacho Bailone.
Bailone getting into it on both ends of the box there. Good work from him. Again, that spark, that safety that you need off the bench, bringing quality stuff.
Wegbo unable to keep that one in play, or rather Agudelo. And the final substitute of the night for Birmingham Legion, be one of the youngest players in USL, 17-year-old Matthew Corcoran. He'll come on for Gabriel Alves to conclude the match. 14th appearance this season for Corcoran. He's a native of Dallas.
Apparently he's been getting looks from teams abroad. He signed at 15. And talk about, I mean, we've seen academy players here play from SAFC a full match, and you know the development that happens between the ages of 15 and even 18, let alone 18 to 20 to 30. So many changes. So the fact that he's here and able to hang on the first team with a great team says a lot.
Connor Maloney. Find Justin Dillon. Dillon back to Jorge Hernandez. Challenge stepping forward there by Asia, who momentarily wins the ball. Abu. Kavita drove it down to Jorge Hernandez, came away. And then he gives it away. Agudelo on the touchline there. Asia. A good battle there with Tainer. Tainer wins the battle. And then Asia knocks it away from Connor Maloney. And Asia will be shown yellow.
Understandably so. Chip at the ankles from behind. See, Maloney is feeling it there. He gets the ball, nice touch in the receiving, and just gets him. Oh, looks like an elbow as well to the face.
I think it was more that than it was the tackle or the push out per se.
I missed the elbow. I was looking at the ankles because it looked like a chip. Eye on the ball, but yep, definitely a bow to the face. That'll wake you up.
Tainer lofts one over the top. Van Oekel reaches out to snatch it. Batista.
We would like to remind you, please refrain from throwing objects from the playing field, entering the playing field, and if you're using the ball, thank you.
Corcoran, first touch to Colin Smith. Agudelo. So we will wait to see how much added time we'll have here at the end of the second half. Maloney steps forward and drives it toward Pranali, and a fend off Louache. Well, Louache drives that one out himself. It'll belong back to Birmingham. Siadu will switch the play. And we'll see exactly as I expected, about 5 minutes.
Hitani allowed himself to get tripped up on that last one. He might have been able to pull the call, but you can tell he had full faith in the advantage, just couldn't quite get there.
Agudelo looking for Pasher. Pasher looking to make the turn there. And he does successfully around PC, who defended it out. Pasher with the throw. Agudelo will get it back to him. The combination there with Enzo Martinez, and Martinez concedes. Louache spots Justin Dillon onside. Takes the drive, puts it in, and caps off perhaps the 3 points. And Justin Dillon, his first goal in nearly a calendar year, and it's a big one here late as SAFC is up 2.
The dry spell is over for Justin Dillon, and I am so happy to see it. You know, he's really been involved in the attack all year long. He comes in late in the game here, shows up big for his team. He's such a key player in the development of the play, of being, you know, selfless, giving the ball to other people. In this one, he took it on his own. He did it well with composure, and I hope this opens up a line of scoring here for him for the rest of the season. We'll take a look back on it. Nice touch into space. Again, not rushing anything, taking it easy, and the chip over opposite corner is good.
His last goal, July 16th of 2022, And yet still, that is his 14th goal as a member of San Antonio FC in his 61st appearance. And it gives SAFC perhaps the nail in the coffin tonight, up 2 goals. 3-1 now with just precious few minutes remaining in the match. And after falling away at Sacramento 3-1 last Saturday night, San Antonio FC about to turn the tables and perhaps pocket an exact identical 3-1 win here tonight at home.
Lucky turnover there from Birmingham again, a team that has shown extensive quality throughout this match. It almost feels like it's odd to see it as a 3-1 result. I mean, had they had those 2 goals early in that first half, this could definitely be a nil game, you know, so you're back to equal, but just got to take advantage of those chances is, I think, the lesson learned here.
It'll give San Antonio tremendous confidence as they head east next Friday night to AutoZone Park to take on Memphis 901. We mentioned they came into tonight riding a 12-match unbeaten streak. San Antonio FC about to pick up their first win in their last 6 matches.
Got to hand it to Mohamed Abu as well, who came in late to the match. He always adds a spark there, especially on the defensive side for SAFC. He has been critical in, you know, just changing the direction of the game, getting it back onto the other half of the field, and that's because his ability to defend as a unit, to find the spaces where he needs to be. He's done a good job.
Birmingham Legion will drop back below the 500 threshold to suffer their 8th defeat of the season, while San Antonio FC will pick up their 7th win, and a valuable 3 points will give them 28. The live table will push them past Monterey Bay temporarily. Searching out by Loney, there was Hernandez, and the clearance made from Legion.
Again, another productive and dangerous play there for SAFC. Getting the momentum back here.
It's off the back heel of Dillon. As PC hits the ground, foul, another free kick.
Like another elbow to the face there. I'd have to see it back. Let's take a look. Nice flick from Dillon, and yeah, an arm to the face at the minimum. Didn't look intentional though.
And should be the final possession of the match here as we're past the 5 minutes. Jorge Hernandez just kill out the final precious seconds himself before he'll take this bid. San Antonio FC will have their 7th win of the season. Off the side of the netting, and SAFC, winless in their last 4 matches, has a W and 3 points at home tonight on the strength of goals by Jorge Hernandez, Teddy Oluwaseyi, and Justin Dillon, and Carlos Mercado, the 23-year-old keeper, in a spot start in the absence of Jordan Farr's, got his first win in USL Championship as it adds up to a 3-1 win tonight for the home side.
First win in almost a clean sheet if it weren't for Pasher there on the side. Again, solid quality caliber player. Really impressed with what Mercado was able to do tonight. He stepped in and was able to fill in some really big shoes, biggest shoes in the league really, and he did a fine job at that. Name of the game here is goals, right? SAFC, they did it, they finished the job, and that's what makes them such a difficult team to play against. They're quick, they're direct, they make it happen.
Goals 29, 30, and 31 on the season for San Antonio FC. Adds up to a 3-1 win tonight over Birmingham Legion. SAFC will hit the road We'll head to Memphis for a matchup Friday night against Memphis 901. You can catch that on ESPN+. We're back on Valley Sports on the 15th against AFC Sunderland in a friendly here at Toyota Field at 8 p.m. Now for Katie Goodman and our entire crew, I'm Dan Weiss saying so long. Your final SAFC, a 3-1 winner. It's been a presentation of the USL Championship and Spurs Sports and Entertainment. So long, everybody. Happy Independence Day.